Welcome back to Fiction Friction, a podcast where we talk about books, reading, and anything else we might want to talk about. My name is Joe. I am one of your hosts.
I am Bill. Joe, it has been...
Yeah, we've become a monthly podcast just because we've both been so damn busy.
Gee whiz, man. Gee whiz. I think, I don't know, we've been ill every other week. I feel like we're taking in turns on our deathbeds. And then you had a big revelation, so it's...
Yes, you made it sound like I've joined the church or something. No, I just found out what I'm intolerant to, and I feel a lot better now. So that was good.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, as it is coming towards the end of March, we're about halfway through, but by the time this episode's out, who knows? We thought we would do a little Q1 wrap up of the stuff that we've been reading and maybe the stuff we've been watching as well. Just talk about not all, maybe. Well, not all for me, because I've read a heck of a lot this year already, but yeah, just talk about some of the stuff we've been consuming this year so far. How was your January reading wise?
January was probably my only good reading month of the year. So I think I've literally talked about everything I've read on this podcast, so I'm going to repeat myself, and Joe will do the majority of the talking. But I feel like before we actually get into it, shall we give an update about our fantasy box office thing that we did in the last episode?
No,
I've got it up on my...
mine's gone really bad.
I've got it on my second monitor, so I can talk about it. If you're unaware, we did this fantasy box office thing. It's the same thing as fantasy football. And basically you're making your own movie studios. So me and Joe have gone up against each other, and we've gone back and forth picking movies from like Q1. I think it might be a little bit of Q2 as well, but it's like the kind of the winter spring season. And we picked the movie that we think that's going to do incredibly well. That's not like subjected, what's the word? Like not completely confined to this season. So Joe picked The Odyssey and I picked Spider-Man Brand New Day. And then we went back and forth picking films that we think would do well. And then we also picked a bomb for each other. So I picked He-Man, unfortunately. And Joe picked... What did you pick?
Well, so I picked Resident Evil.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
But like whatever that loses will then go off mine.
Yeah.
Basically, we did that like a month or so ago now. And some of our movies have opened.
A lot of mine.
It's very interesting. Yeah, so for me, I've only had about 4 movies open, which were Wuthering Heights, How to Make a Killing, Whistle, and The Strangers Chapter 3. And Joe has had Hoppers.
6. Hoppers,
Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, Crime 101, Goat, and Bride. And this has been interesting. It's been very interesting. It's not going well for me.
It's not going well for me. Unfortunately, mine are all like, apart from Pillion, which has made money because it was, the budget was quite small. The rest of mine, and I think we spoke about this last episode when we were talking about what we picked, there wasn't a lot to pick from. So I feel like we weren't really doing it very strategically. We were just like picking, firstly, the stuff we'd heard of, and then we were just kind of picking random stuff. All of mine came out on the same day and were all quite high budget. So I'm currently sitting at a loss of negative $539 million.
I will say a big, like 285 million of yours is Hoppers, which is doing surprisingly well. It was a great film. I want to talk about it later when we get to that bit of the podcast. Brilliant film though. But you've also got The Bride in there, which...
Yeah. I'm blaming all of this on Maggie Gyllenhaal. The one I
will go watch it eventually.
The one I'm sad about is Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Admittedly, I haven't seen it, but that's just because I haven't really had time to go to the cinema recently, or the money, really. It's like an original movie that looked really cool, and I've been checking this quite regularly. It's currently sitting at a loss of $42 million, and that's really sad to me because I think it looked really fun. Crime 101, I'm not surprised about it being a loss. Have you seen any marketing for this movie? I haven't.
No. But like the problem with that film as well, even though it's supposed to be actually quite decent, it's just a movie like that shouldn't cost that much money. It's just because of the cast.
Yeah, it's because it's full of famous people. It's Chris Hemsworth, Barry Keoghan, Mark Ruffalo.
Halle Berry, isn't it?
And Halle Berry, yeah. So I was trying to zoom in on the image to see who that woman was. Yeah, it costs so much money. Literally the only marketing I've seen for it was I was out for a walk the other day and I saw it on the side of a bus, and that was it. but I had
Yeah.
to pick it because there was nothing to pick. So I'm pinning all of my hopes on Project Hail Mary, which comes out next month, I think.
No, it comes out
And-
on Thursday.
Well, it comes
Next
out,
Thursday.
March 20th. It says it right there. I'm super excited for this movie.
I'm going to go see it on Thursday.
And the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which I think is really going to claw me back from my
You know what?
my massive
I didn't
losses.
love the first movie, but Brie Larson's like love for it has like made me more excited for it because she's just so excited about being in a Mario movie.
I mean, the first movie was exactly what I expected it to be. And you know what? That was fine. I thought it was fun. It was a nice, mild diversion. I will go and see the second one because of the nostalgia. But the first one made over $1 billion. So I'm really hoping it's going to be like a massive plaster I can just stick over all the leaks I've got coming out. If you imagine my studio is a pipe and I've got like these 6 leaks coming out of it, I'm just going to stick this huge Mario plaster over it all.
Well, we've just got to hope that even though like the press for Project Hail Mary is incredible, it cost a lot of money to make. So I'm just hoping people go see it.
I think
that
they
could
will
knock you down again.
It's being branded as like, you know, the like a big event movie, and it's a cinema movie. People go out to see like big sci-fi movies. I hope so. So yeah, and the marketing's been there. I mean, it's been advertised every time I've been to the cinema. I've seen it on buses. I've seen it on billboards and bus stations and things. So yeah, my fingers are crossed for Project Hail Mary. I mean, I suppose for you, the lucky thing you've had is all of yours have been fairly low budget. So
that's why I was being strategic.
Well, I couldn't be strategic because you picked all the good ones. Because you got to pick first. I mean, the one I'm not surprised about for you is Wuthering Heights being your only current.
I think Wuthering Heights is interesting actually because it's made its money back now. So basically, how it works is like a budget that you might see on Wikipedia is not how much it actually costs, because you normally have to times it by 2.5 to factor in production cost, not just production costs, sorry, like marketing costs. And I think Wuthering Heights, I think they expected it to be a little bit bigger than it was, but it still made a profit. Even though it's just plus 14 million, it's helped me a lot. So I'm going to take it.
Yeah, the negative response when it came out. And to be honest, the negative response beforehand, I don't think Emerald did herself any favors. Both when she was actually writing the movie and also when she was talking about the movie. She kind of, I don't know, I think she put quite a few people off, specifically that interview where she said, you can't adapt this book, it's too dense and it's too complicated. It's like, well, no, don't say you can't, Emerald. Other people probably could.
It's been adapted in the past.
Yeah, like, if people can adapt Dune, which was, like, famously the most unadaptable book, nobody ever thought it could be done. If people can do that, I think they can do Wuthering Heights, Emerald.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anyway.
I do want to say as well, I've got the Michael Jackson movie on mine. That's either going to be, like come and go, or it's going to be huge. And I feel like it's going to be a big, big event.
Yeah, I mean, your break even for that is 387.5 million.
It's going to make that 100%.
Do you think, because like in the past, these things have not, like the Whitney one did not do well at all, did it?
But the Whitney one was a lot smaller scope. Like it wasn't promoted well, and then it was received really poorly too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it could be a sort of Bohemian Rhapsody thing, but we'll see.
Yeah. Also, isn't it rumored that it's like, it's going to end essentially how Wicked ended, which is like to be continued, and it's going to be...
Yeah, they're splitting into 2 parts, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't even got one. I mean, but also I just don't care about Michael Jackson.
I'm very indifferent, but it feels like a thing that like parents would be like, hey kids, let's go.
Do you think they'll go to the cinema though, or will they just wait? Will they just wait?
I think it all depends on if like, one, like reviews are good and the buzz is there, but I feel like it could be a last minute thing. It's like, oh, there's nothing on right now.
Yeah.
Why don't we see this as a family?
The other thing that I've seen spoken about is obviously the guy who's playing Michael Jackson is actually related to him, isn't he?
Is his nephew.
In some way.
I think it's his nephew.
But also the family have been so heavily involved in it that it's like, is it just going to be like 2 hours of glazing?
Probably, yeah. I don't think they'll ever touch on like any controversies.
Yeah.
But to be fair, most biopics don't because families are normally involved.
Yeah, Jafar Jackson, he's part of the Jackson family. He's the son of Jermaine Jackson, who I don't know. I can't be bothered to click through all those Wikipedia articles anyway. I don't care enough to click
I
through
say
them.
I know Janet, and that's about it.
I know Janet, I know LaToya, but only from Drag Race. Anyway, let's talk about some of the stuff we've been reading.
Okay.
So, how was your January for reading?
January, as I said before, was the only month that I actually was consistently reading. And I'd read, I think, like 3 books in January. And that was Dungeon Crawler Carl. It was Wild Dark Shores. And it was, I think that was when I read, it was some arc that I'd read as well. But since then, everything's kind of dropped off. I've read the odd thing for work, but it's not been a great reading year so far for me. I'm hoping, you know what, why? We've talked about this before, but I'm very much a sit outside and read sort of reader. And it's rained almost every single day in the UK this year. I think it's only the past couple of weeks that it's like letting up a little bit. I went on a walk this morning. It wasn't raining, but it was so windy. I was walking around with my cap on and my hat was like flying around the roads.
My hat blew off my head.
Stress. Yeah, it literally happened to me earlier. I was like, my God.
I had to chase it across the street. It was very embarrassing.
So, not great. You're reading a lot, though, so that's depressing.
I am. And do you know why that is? It's because I've got a chair in my room now. I've got my own little reading corner, and I love it. It does.
There's
I have to leave my.
chair.
Yeah, mine is just out of frame over there. But I have to leave my phone in another room. But yeah, I get a lot of reading done. I read 20 books in January. Some of them were very short. At least 2 of them were those, like Little Penguin, like the little, I call them like the taster penguins, the tiny little ones. But yeah, I had a good reading month. Overall, not that much that I actually really, really liked. There were a couple, so I'll talk about a couple. The first one I read was A Private Man by Stephanie I'm not sure how to pronounce her surname. I think it's Sequoia or Sequoia. So this is
Sequoia?
So it's SY-QUIA. I think it's Sequoia. And this basically follows 2 people, a man and a woman, who are both in some way or another related to, I think it was the Catholic Church. He's a priest. She basically wants to be a theologist and is studying, and she's teaching girls in a Catholic school. And they start a relationship. But obviously, because he's had a vow of celibacy, they can't do that. And it's told from the perspective of both of them and also one of their relatives in almost the present day. I didn't think I would love this book as much as I did. It's so incredibly well written. The prose is just so good. This book, I think it came out last month. I read it in January. It's so beautifully written. The prose is just amazing. It's been branded as a slow burn love story, and I think that is mostly just a marketing thing because it does feature a romance in that these characters, that they end up together, because if not, one of the perspectives of the book can't exist. It's their grandson or whatever. But it's more about the choices we make, about who we want to be as people. I just really loved it. It's really beautiful. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did because it's a book about a religion and I didn't think I would find that interesting, but it's not preachy and it's also not overly condemning. It's just this is what these people have chosen to do with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved it and I didn't expect to. So that was nice. I read Strange Buildings, which is the 3rd book by Uketsu, which they're just really fun and silly and ridiculous murder mysteries. This one was the most complex and it's so ludicrous the way he just puts all these mysteries out there and then they somehow miraculously are all related to one thing. But they're good fun. They're very silly if you suspend your belief for about 200, or I think this one was 300 pages. It's the longest one, but I had a lot of fun. And then I read a book called Help Me, which I think I told you about. Mm-hmm. This was a novella that I really, really enjoyed. I just picked it up because it was I think it was 99p on Kindle one day. It's about a woman who moves with her husband to their house in upstate New York because he's suffering from this wasting disease. His skin is falling off and his eyes have fallen out. And it starts out really body horror and it just gets weirder and weirder as the book goes on. So that's Help Me by Nabhan Ruthnam. I really, really liked that. So did you read anything in February at all?
I read stuff that I can't say, like early copies of like friends' books and stuff, for Blurb potential and whatever. Some really fun stuff. Again, I don't think some of them have been announced, so I can't really, which is annoying when we're doing a wrap up, but
it's great for this audio podcast that you can't talk about things.
I'll describe the genre. One of them was a fantasy. It's so stupid. Yeah, I think I read two. Yeah, because I read one on Kindle and then I was sent like a very like early bound copy of something. It's so annoying. I wish I could say what they were, but I don't think they've been announced yet. Yeah, I just need the sun to come out and then I can get back into my reading stuff again.
Your summer will.
Yeah, I did pick up a book earlier, which we'll get into when we talk about what we're currently reading. But yeah, I'm gonna be a bit passive this episode, I think.
That's fine. That's fine. I read, let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books in March. No, February, sorry. 12 books in February. And I pretty much liked all of them. I either liked or felt indifferent to. There was nothing I really disliked in February. I was talking to someone recently, actually, and I was saying, isn't it really sad that most of the time you kind of just feel indifferent to everything you read? Like, most of the stuff you read, I just feel like, oh, that was fine. And it's very rare that stuff comes along that you absolutely love or you absolutely hate. Most of the time, stuff just feels like, oh, that was fine. But anyway, what did I read? I read Minor Black Figures by Brandon Taylor. It was one of the things, we had an episode late last year where we spoke about books we were looking forward to this year. So I'm glad that I really liked this one. It's about a guy who is a young painter, an artist living in New York, and he's trying to figure out how his identity, namely his queerness and his blackness, relates to his art and whether it has to or whether it does. And also he enters into a relationship with a guy who used to be a priest. Weirdly, a lot of my stuff is featuring religion. I don't have a really strong opinion on religion, so I don't know why.
Revelation.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Maybe I should join the church. But I really, really loved it. It's really well written. You kind of, again, have to suspend your belief a little bit because this main character is having hyper philosophical conversations with literally every person he meets. And I just don't think that that would happen in real life. Like, everyone has a really strong opinion about art and everything. Like, it's a little bit silly, but it's all really well written and it's very deep and very meaningful. And I really liked it. I also read Whalefall by Elizabeth O'Connor, which is a little novella set on an island off the coast of Wales that I think it's set, let me have a look at it's set in the 1930s.
Is this a fictional island or a real island?
The island itself is fictional, but it's based on communities that did exist about the time on a remote Welsh island. And it follows a girl when two English, I want to say like scientists, but they're not really scientists. They want to come and document the culture on the island, but it becomes increasingly apparent that they're not actually there to do that. They're there to create this sort of like sensationalist narrative. Like, there's this really, really, really evocative scene that really stuck in my mind where the girl has become a helper to these two documenters because she's one of the only people on the island who can speak English. So she's helping them and she meets them one day on the beach. And one of the fishermen is like in the water doing this weird like dance with a fishnet, trying to get fish in the ocean. And she's like, why are you making him do that? That's really weird. And they're like, oh, well, we just want to document like the island's culture. And she's like, but a fisherman wouldn't go in the sea like that because it's really dangerous. He could die. Like, the currents are really bad. He could die. He needs to be on a boat. And they were like, no, we want to document this because we want to be, we want to document the traditional island. And they're like taking photos and like making notes about what he's doing. And she's like, but no one here ever does this. What are you doing? And then he comes out of the ocean and she's like, why did you do that for them? And he was like, oh, well, they paid me. So I just did what I was told. And it becomes increasingly clear that they're there to more like ogle and point fingers and laugh rather than actually document what actually happened. I wish it had got to that a bit sooner. The first part, I was like, I kind of don't really understand what the point of this book is. And then when these documentarians show up, it becomes more increasingly apparent what the book is about. But other than that, I did really like it. I've had it. It's one of those ones I picked up from a charity shop just randomly because I like the cover. So I'm glad I did. Another one I want to talk about is Celestial Lights by Cecile Pinn. Have you seen this book? It's got like the orange cover. It's by the author of Wandering Souls, a book that I absolutely loved. This follows a guy who is basically increasingly driven by ambition to the point where he becomes disconnected from his social life. It reminded me a lot of Interstellar in that it's about a man going to space, and that basically means he has to leave behind a whole life on Earth. He is part of the first crew that's going to one of Jupiter's moons, I think. Yeah, Europa, which in real life, like, actually does, they think, have water on it. So they're going there to see if there's life on this moon, but it means he has to leave behind his whole life. I just found the pacing so absolutely breakneck, which meant I couldn't actually connect to any of the people and just didn't really care. It was a case of the author like taking a hammer that she'd written the word themes on it and just like hitting me over the head with it. And it just meant I couldn't really enjoy it that much. So I was really disappointed about that because I really loved her first book. And then I read a couple of the books that have been longlisted for the International Booker. I read On Earth as It Is Beneath, which is about this penal colony where the sort of commissioner or guy who runs this prison has gone a bit crazy and is saying, well, you can escape if I don't catch you and shoot you and kill you. And like every so often he lets 2 prisoners out and he always shoots and kills them. But basically this prison was supposed to be shut down a very long time ago. It's kind of about the prison system. It's about masculinity. And I liked it because it's only about 98 pages long, which is my favorite sort of book. And then, I'll stop talking in a second, I read She Who Remains by Renee Karabash in February, as well, which is about a woman in, where is it set? I think it's set in Albania, who, to get out of an arranged marriage to a man because she's actually queer, she becomes what's called a sworn virgin, which means she renounces her womanhood and gets to live as a man. This book is only about 200 pages long. It's incredibly poetic. The author has said she thinks of it more as poetry than as a novel. A heck of a lot of plot for a book that short. I thought it was really, really beautiful. I really liked it. Have you read anything this month so far?
No. I've just come off deadline, so I've not had the time.
Well, you've been reading stuff. Yeah, you've read your own book.
Yeah, I've read my own book a zillion times. I'm sick of it now. But nothing this month. You've probably already read like 70 books.
I haven't. I've only read one so far because I tried to read some more of the International Booker. And I know slacking. I am slacking in March. I tried to read more of the International Booker. I tried 3 different ones and couldn't get into any of them. So that really stalled me for about 3 weeks. And then I read I Want You to Be Happy by Jem Calder, which comes out on the 19th of May. It has this really cool cover. You may have seen this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Incredibly shocked to find out that this is actually a man. I thought it was a woman. And about halfway through, I saw a picture of him on the internet and was like, what? So that kind of...
See, I just associate Jem with a character from the Shadowhunters books. And that is a man. That is a man.
So you would have been more knowledgeable than me. I mean, it didn't really affect my reading experience because I thought... So it's basically a relationship book. What is it like to have a relationship in modern London? The guy whose name is Chuck. Yes, Chuck, it is Chuck because I remember thinking what a weird name for a British person to be called. But his name is actually
American, yeah.
Yeah, his name is Charles, but they call him Chuck. He's in his 30s. He is a copywriter. He works in, it's never specified, but like Canary Wharf-esque type of place. The girl whose name is Joey is in her early 20s, is a barista, doesn't know what to do with her life, but they're both writers. She's a poet. He's trying to be a fiction writer. They meet on a night out and it's about their relationship. And I really, really liked this book. I thought it was really, really great. I think it's so well written. It reminded me a lot of Sally Rooney, which is not a compliment I throw out a lot. The writing is really, really, really like precise, decisive, insightful, without being really florid and using a lot of words, which I really, really appreciate. It's not very long. It's like 260 pages, but you get this whole relationship in this book. I really, really liked it. I thought it was really great. It's out on the 19th of May. And I think it's going to be very big. I think it's going to be a bit of a zeitgeisty novel because, again, the cover is very eye-catching. And I think it's speaking to a lot of things that people are going to find very relevant. So yeah, I really,
Yeah.
really liked it. You had that, and that's a big compliment for me about a straight relationship book. That's not something I throw out a lot. Have you watched anything this year?
Watched a lot, not a lot of stuff. Like it has been a bit of a slow year, but that's I think purely down to the cinema has been kind of dead. Like
It
I've
has.
wanted to go, but every time me and my friends look, we're like, I guess we'll see this. So the odd day we've gone and seen something, but I've been a bit disappointed by the releases this year. I'm just gonna put up my letterbox. I've got my most recent watch that I want to talk about, but while that's loading, I did go and see Hoppers last weekend,
Yeah.
and it was kind of just like it was weird. Like I was going to see it because I see every Pixar movie, but I wasn't like I need to see this opening weekend. But I'm so
Yeah.
glad I did because it was such a pleasant surprise. I think when I saw the reviews trickle in and it was like this seems more positive than any like original Pixar movie for a while. So I went with my mom and my brother, and you know what? It was bloody hilarious. It was so funny, and of course, like with all Pixar movies, it always has its story, its themes, and this one is very heavily on like in environmentalism, preserving nature, wildlife, and it was just a beautiful film. It's ridiculous. It's so fucking bonkers in like the best way, but I can't even think of a film where Pixar has gone this like batshit. It is
Mm.
insane. Like there's a shark flying around in it. It's really weird, but like really cool as well. Like I think not only is it like themey, it's just like really inventive in terms of like you get to see like this like animal kingdom and stuff, and like sure they've probably made up a whole lot of this stuff, but it's really great and like obviously performance wise amazing, and it's just a very welcome surprise.
Meryl
Probably
Streep
my
is the villain,
favorite.
right?
Yeah, she's probably it's probably my favorite original Pixar since Coco, I'd say.
No, I want to talk about some other movies that I've watched as well, some rewatches. So the first movie I watched this year was Avatar: Fire and Ash, which we've spoken
Yes,
about
yes,
at length.
yes.
We both really liked. And then I saw Hamnet, which I've spoken about quite a bit on here. Absolutely loved. And then I've been very slowly, as you'll see when I talk about some of the other movies I've been watching. I've been very slowly rewatching the MCU.
Mm.
And the first one I rewatched this year was Thor: The Dark World, which, Jesus Christ, this movie is so boring. It's so fucking boring. Like, visually, it looks incredible. So it's directed by Alan Ball, who's not a name you'll probably know, but he directed a lot of the early episodes of Game of Thrones. So he brings this really like Nordic sensitivity to it in the Asgard bits, which I really liked. I think visually it looks really great. The visual effects are really good. The performances are really great. But Jesus Christ, this movie's so boring. It gives us, again, this period of MCU movies has very similar flaws every time, which is the villain. You could just not give two shits about what they're doing. And also, they're like, we must bring about the convergence. And you're like, okay, but every time you say that, I don't know what that is. And therefore, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, clearly it must be a bad thing because you're evil. And it's Christopher Eccleston going about and hissing all his lines in like very low lit spaceship scenes. So clearly,
Yes.
you're meant to think that this is the villain and you don't want this thing to happen. And Thor, who's the goody, we know he's the goody, doesn't want this thing to happen. But I just the whole time, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. Then I rewatched Little Women. So like from a very boring film to my favorite film of all time, I love Little Women. I don't really have
29 Little Women, I'm assuming.
2019 Little Women.
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets from the year 29. My favorite movie of all time. It gets better with every rewatch. It's an incredible movie. Greta Gerwig should have just won every award for it. I can't believe she didn't win Best Adapted Screenplay because I think what she does with this movie and how she makes it relevant. If you want to look at how to adapt a classic novel for modern audiences, I think Emerald Fennell should have looked at this movie because clearly Greta Gerwig has an absolute reverence for Louisa May Alcott and this book in the same way that Emerald Fennell clearly does for Wuthering Heights. But the way that Greta Gerwig succeeds with Little Women, it's just absolutely incredible. She's just done a wonderful job with it. Then I rewatched The Winter Soldier, which I thought was great. Just really good fun. It really holds up. It's a really great film. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's very silly, and when people are like, it's a political thriller, I'm like, don't be silly. Like, it is actually just an MCU movie, but it's really fun. The action is really great for an MCU movie until you get to the end where like they're blowing up space helicarriers or whatever. Until then, it's very grounded. The action sequences are just like on a highway or like on a boat. It's really great. Then I rewatched the first Guardians of the Galaxy, which again, really great time, really fun. James Gunn very rarely misses.
The dance fight at the end.
I was worried about that when I got to it. I was like, I'm going to find this a bit cringe. And it happened. And I was like, do you know what? In the tone of this movie, it's very silly and it's very fun and it makes sense. And then my last watch of January was Sinners, which I've spoken about. I'm really sad I didn't like it. People think it's going to win Best Picture at the Oscars. And you know what? If it does, fair play to them. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just didn't gel with it. I'd much rather it was one battle after another, but there we are. Anyway, what did you watch in January? Have you actually got Letterboxd to load?
Yes, I've got it up now. I couldn't actually get it, so I literally had to search my profile, but I found it. So in January, to be fair, even like film-wise, I've not watched a ton this year. In January, I rewatched Gremlins. I love Gremlins. It's because I never got round to it at Christmas. So yeah, I didn't get round to it at Christmas, so I did it in January, and it's still just a fun time. I didn't watch Gremlins 2 though, which I do love as well. So I'm just gonna have to wait till this Christmas now. What else did I watch? I watched the Grinch in January apparently.
Which one?
The animated one.
Okay.
The animated one's really fun. I can't lie.
I hate the live action one. I hate it. I actually hate it. Like when I had to watch it the year before last, we did like a Christmas like vote for the movie you want to watch, and the Grinch won, and I was really mad about it. Haven't seen it in years, so I was like, maybe I'll like it. And the whole time I just had this like this physical feeling of irritation across my whole body. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Anyway, carry on.
You know, I do prefer the animated one, I think. I can't lie. I just think it's a well-made movie. I don't know. I actually watched a documentary in January.
Whoa, who are you?
Do you know who Zara Larsson is?
Yes, I do.
I watched her documentary. I watched her documentary, and you know what? It's nothing revolutionary, but I watched it because I really appreciate it. I think, one, she's just ridiculously talented. Like, her voice is insane. But also, she's so woke, so I just want to support her even that more.
She seems very fun.
Yeah, and you know what? Really interesting. It was, like, the process of, like, label stuff, her album and whatever, and now that she's blowing up, it's really nice. Recommend it if anyone likes Zara. I saw The House Mode and rewatched it not in January, I think this is February now. Galaxy Quest, I think I talked about that in the last episode. Wuthering Heights, I feel like I talked about that in the last episode, but I can't remember if we did, or it was just coming out then. I thought it was fine. I don't have like a huge I've read Wuthering Heights back in like A-level times. I don't have a huge connection to it, so I wasn't like offended by like the changes. Immediately you can tell it's not accurate to the books at all. Like, characters are missing, Kathy's brother's missing. But one thing I'll give Emerald Fennell is that the movie is fucking gorgeous. It is like, some of the scenes I was just sitting there in awe by, like, composition, just like lighting is insane. Like, it gets so Alice in Wonderlandy at points with like giant ass strawberries. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but it looks cool. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what she does next. And you know what? I'll see it. I think even though I don't love Emerald's films, like Promising Young Woman, I really enjoyed, and Saltburn is a good time, I guess.
Yeah.
I appreciate that she's bringing people in to see films that would typically probably either go to streaming or not. Or like, do you know what I mean? Like these mid-budget films that are like kind of go under the radar, they kind of normally flop. People are seeing them because she is making them outrageous. And I think if making things ridiculous and outrageous just to get people to come see it, I guess a quote-unquote smaller movie. I mean, Wuthering Heights isn't a small movie, but Saltburn, sure. I don't know. I think that's what we kind of need in the cinema. We need to keep cinemas alive.
The thing is with Emerald Fennell is she's branded herself as like an auteur, like a writer-director, but I think she's a much stronger director, visually anyway, than she is a writer. Like, I liked Promising Young Woman. I did like Saltburn because I enjoyed them as a good time. But when you actually interrogate the themes or the politics, like they're not. Like, what is Saltburn effectively saying? Oh, the lower classes are a bit weird, aren't they? Like when you think about it, I wish she would just direct something and maybe get someone else to write it. And I think maybe her next film would be a lot stronger. I mean, that's probably not going to happen. But what I am excited about is the same cinematographer who worked on Wuthering Heights is doing Doom Part 3. So I think that's going to be very cool. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, just like say what you want about Wuthering Heights, but you can't deny that it was a gorgeous film. So we'll see. And then last thing I've not talked about, because obviously I've talked about, I nearly called it Lizard. What's it called? Hoppers. Saying that, the whole like lizard meme is in the film for like a second. Like they don't even play the whole scene. I was a bit pissed. I saw Send Help, which was so much fun. One. Yes, I am Sam Raimi's biggest fanboy. I fucking love him. Everything he does, all his Evil Dead movies, even the campy ones, love them. This was a lot of fun. It didn't like blow me away, but it was just kind of like a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
I went with my mom and my aunt, and I told them I was worried that it was going to be really horror. So I'm like, oh no, it's just a thriller. Thankfully it was. There was some kind of like gross moments because it is a Sam Raimi movie. But I think for a film that is like at its core just like a stuck on a desert island movie, it's like really well shot. It's a gorgeous film, and that's, I guess, a testament to Sam Raimi like doing what he does. I will say, like, compared to like, I remember when I saw Multiverse of Madness for the first time, which obviously he directed, his like essence was there. Some of the shots were very kooky. Some of like the transitions are very obviously Sam Raimi. There wasn't that many in this film, which I found quite surprising.
Yeah, I was surprised, to be honest, when I heard that this was his next film. I was like, desert island, sunny and lush. It doesn't feel like a Sam Raimi film.
It has its moments, like the stuff, especially in the third act, which I won't spoil because that's like a big twist, I guess, of the film. But I know it was a really good time. Rachel McAdams is hilarious in it. She is so bloody funny. She plays this character that is just so multifaceted, and she does it so well. Dylan O'Brien's great in it as well. I've not seen him in a ton of stuff other than like, I've watched a bit of Teen Wolf. I've seen him in like The Maze Runner. He did like this kaiju movie and like during COVID, Love and Monsters, I think it was called, which was quite fun. But he can play an asshole really well, and he does that in this film, so I don't know what that says about him.
Hopefully that's just acting. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think you'd really like it, though. It is a really
I'm going to watch
time.
it. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
I think my mom wants to watch it as well, so we will watch it. I had a very varied February. I'll start at the top because it's stuff we've already seen. But the most recent thing I watched in February was I rewatched One Battle After Another, now that it's on streaming, because my mom wanted to watch it. And it went up 0.5 star. I now rated it 5 stars. I think it's an absolutely incredible movie.
Praise.
We've glazed this movie enough on here, but I loved it so much. Back to the beginning of February, I watched Train Dreams because I was trying to watch all the Best Picture nominees. The Oscars are this Sunday, by the way. Maybe
Is it really? Oh my God.
Yeah, I think this Sunday. We'll go through our predictions again in a sec. So I watched Train Dreams. Again, spoken about this. Absolutely gorgeous movie. Loved it way more than I did the book. The book I felt kind of indifferent to. So I was a bit nervous going into this thinking I'm going to find this really boring, but absolutely stunning. One of the best looking movies I've ever watched. Sentimental Value, I watched on the same day. Very emotional day for me. Absolutely beautiful movie. Love this movie so much. The performances are incredible. It's really tender, really wonderful. Topping out all the Oscar movies I've watched in February, I watched Frankenstein, which was interesting. Have you watched it yet? I found it very interesting that, spoilers for the movie Frankenstein, because it changes some very crucial things that I think change the intent of the original book. Namely, the monster does not kill anyone until he's searching for Victor. And it's been a while since I've read Frankenstein, so I might bring up a plot summary, actually. But correct me if I'm wrong, but the monster kills his brother, doesn't he?
If I remember correctly, yeah.
He kills his brother, the creature murders, and kills Elizabeth. So all of that is changed in the movie. The monster does not kill anyone. He is present. Elizabeth gets shot. and the brother just falls over and hits his head and dies. And I think that really, really takes away the sort of nature versus nurture theme of the original book. It makes the monster not culpable in any of it. And it also means that so obviously we start the movie at the end on the ice. Victor's been picked up by this ship that's stuck in the ice. The monster shows up and he's like killing sailors left, right, and center to get to Victor. That didn't then marry up for me with the version of the monster we've just seen. All that being said, I did think it was a really good movie. Like, in and of itself, I think it works. As a separate product, it works. I think for me, those changes just didn't fully make sense narratively, especially when Guillermo del Toro has been very, very open about wanting, like, the thing he's always wanted to do is do a really faithful Frankenstein adaptation. So it was really interesting to me that he decided to change those things. Visually, absolutely stunning. The performances are all great, looked amazing. But yeah, those changes were a little bit baffling to me.
No, I agree, because I remember him saying that same thing as well. But I guess when things come to fruition, when things are being workshopped, perhaps he thought otherwise. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's still got like all the like man playing God stuff and like that all still works. And visually, it looks great. I think what's his face, the really tall one,
Elordi.
Jacob Elordi. I think his performance is really great in it as well. Physically, it's really great. Anyway, we're up to date. That's Q1. What are you currently reading right now?
I actually just picked up, I always forget the name of it. Let me grab it. I just picked up this. This is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix.
I'm surprised you haven't read this
Hendrix
already.
I know. I picked it up in paperback at the supermarket like a month ago. I was like, I kind of in the mood for it. But it is Grady Hendrix, who I've read a couple of books from before. I'm trying to think. Final Girl Support Group, The Southern Guide to Vampire Slaying. That's the title, something like that.
Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires.
Yeah. I always kind of enjoy Grady's books. I said not read one for a couple of years, but this one sounds really fun. I've heard some good things. Again, I've literally read 5 pages of it when I went to bed last night, so I can't really give a review yet, but the 5 pages were great.
Those 5 pages really hooked. He always does like very meta stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Which
very
is like
knowing.
Totally in my ballpark, yeah.
Yeah. It's almost as if you write those sort of books yourself, so... Yeah, he's the one who did the horror book that is like an IKEA catalogue.
Yeah, I've read that too. Horror Story, yeah. That one's pretty fun.
I want to read that.
The audiobook of that is great if anyone is interested. Great audiobook.
The thing I'm currently reading is Permanence by Sophie McIntosh, which I'm about 3/4 of the way through and really, really enjoying. Really well written. Prose is very, very good, which is something I'm always like looking for. Is set in a world where people who are having affairs, when they're having the affair, they wake up in this like alternate universe called the City of Impermanence, where it's only populated by other people who are having affairs. And the world is dependent on how the people in the relationship, so the 2 people who are having the affair, treat each other. So if they start to be nasty to each other, the weather gets worse, the shops are empty, or like flowers will die. Or if they're horrid enough to each other, the next time they wake up, they're not in the world anymore. They're back in the real world and they have to like wait ages to go back. Very high concept, but done really, really well.
Definitely.
And I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, very literary, but yeah, really enjoying. And that comes out, I think, next month. I think it comes out in April. I suppose we're all done. We've wrapped up everything. Well, nearly everything.
I mean, do you want to say what you've been doing recently?
We don't do that anymore, do we? Because neither of us do anything.
What if we wanted to be interesting?
Yeah, true. I mean, what I've been doing is I've been doing a lot of work, which means I've been writing a lot of music. I was about to say commissioned, but that feels like way too fancy a word. The company I work for is taking a load of shows to the Edinburgh Fringe this year. One of them is a play, and the director wanted some original music, so I've been writing a load of music for that. And the play is set in the 1930s, so I've been trying to write a lot of music that like fits that time, and that's been That's been very, very fun.
Are you still doing the
Challenging.
tour thing?
That I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I think so. I think I am doing the tour thing, and that will be in the summer before we go to Edinburgh. So I'm going all around the houses this year.
It's going all around the towns.
I'm going all around the towns and everything. What have you been doing?
I mean, since coming off deadline, I timed it really well, actually. I got edits. Sounds like I need to finish this ASAP because the new World of Warcraft expansion came out, and
No.
I've been playing with friends and stuff, and I've been having the fucking best time in like new guilds and everything. It's so much fun. This new expansion, I think some of the past ones have been a bit dog shit, but this one has been really, really fun. And I mean, I've played this game since I was like 8, so I'm kind of trapped now.
Do you have like an hours logged? Can you see how many hours you've logged in it?
I can if I do like /played. I can't check right now, but it is insane. I checked not long ago because there was like a new add-on where you can check like by class.
Yeah.
And like then it adds it all up, and it was scary. I don't want to look at it again. Yeah, but also in my dependence, that is not in my defense. That's it. I have played this game, as I said, since 2008. So it's gonna be a scary number.
Yeah,
it's gonna be scary.
Yeah. Well, talking about video games, actually, very briefly, I have been playing the new Resident Evil Requiem, which I think you would actually really enjoy. However, it does rely on a lot of previous franchise knowledge, but it's really, really fun. It's incredibly violent and very scary, but very Resident Evil. If you've ever played any Resident Evil before, I think you'll have a good time with this. You know, it's ridiculous puzzles where to get out of the first like proper level is you're stuck in this intensive care home. And to get out through the back door, rather than just like find a key, you have to find these 4 or 3 quartz squares that like lock into the door. So it's very Resident Evil in that way. It's very scary, lots of zombies, very violent. I've played through it 4 times now, because once you play through it once and you get like a feel for it, there are other challenges like try and complete it without using any health items or do it in under 4 hours. So I'm doing all that, and I'm currently playing it on Insanity difficulty, which is the highest difficulty, and it's very, very hard.
Gamer.
Yeah, so I'm having a very good time. I really, really love this franchise. It's very silly. I'm looking forward tentatively, however you say that word, looking forward to Zach Krieger's Resident Evil movie.
Zach Krieger, everything he does, I really enjoy. So I'm hoping.
Finally, we might get a good Resident Evil movie. We are in the golden age of video game adaptations now.
Indeed, we are. Yeah, I really hope. I'm hopeful for it. I think he's a really great choice.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it will go the way of like what Evil Dead's kind of doing, where every movie they're getting like a new director, but they're all like really promising horror directors.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, apparently some of the plot details have leaked, and some people were like, oh, they're not following like a pre-established character. I'm like, every time they've done that, the movies have been dog shit. What, like, the most recent Resident Evil movie was Welcome to Raccoon City, which tried to basically follow the plot of the first 2 games, and it was terrible because the game's plots, for as much as I enjoy them, are ridiculous. Or there isn't that much plot at all because you're running around trying to find like chess pieces to get through a door, and that takes up 2 hours. Like, the plots are very, very thin. So I don't want them to adapt one of the games because the games are ridiculous. Apparently, the movie just follows a guy who is trying to reach his wife in Raccoon City, which is where it's the setting for Resident Evil 2 and 3, which is basically where the first zombie outbreak happens. So if that's the plot, I mean, I think that could be fun. And also, Resident Evil is always kind of a little bit campy and a little bit silly. And Zach Krieger, you know, he does infuse a lot of comedy into his horror. So I think it could be fun. We'll see.
Speaking of upcoming games, are you going to play the new Tomb Raiders?
I actually don't know a lot about them.
So there is the remake of the original.
Yeah.
With like all the high def graphics, but then there's also a sequel basically to all of them. I think Lara's going to be the oldest we've ever seen her in game. She's not like old. I think she's probably like mid-30s, but like
89. The tomb she's raiding is her own.
Yeah. Yeah. But Tomb Raider is one of those franchises that I feel so nostalgic about that I always play them. I really enjoyed the Survivor trilogy, which I know gets a lot of flack, but it's just from all the incels online. But this one seems like a good mix of, I guess, both versions of Lara. So I'm excited to see what it's like.
See, it's not one of the ones I'm that nostalgic for because I didn't play any real games when I was younger. Like, I just played like movie tie-ins and
Hopscotch.
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, no, I had gaming consoles, but I played like Simpsons Hit and Run and like the games about the Wizard Boy. The first Tomb Raider game I played was Tomb Raider No Subtitle from 2013. You know, the like gritty reboot they did. And I really liked that. And then I played Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I absolutely
Which was the
loved.
best one.
So good.
Brilliant.
And then I played a little bit of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But either I cancelled my Game Pass subscription or I just wasn't feeling it. But it just wasn't as good. The thing about Tomb Raider 2013 and Rise of the Tomb Raider is that they were written by, I think her name's Rhianna Pratchett, who is Terry Pratchett's daughter.
Wow,
so,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I liked the characters and I liked Lara in those games. Whereas Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I started it and like it opens with Lara going into this like Aztec temple and stealing this artifact, which then causes like a cataclysmic event that absolutely obliterates the nearby town. And at the end of all that, she's like, all of this happened because of me. And her friend, who is called Jonah, is like, Lara, people are dead. Grow up. And she's like, my father wrote. And he's like, there's like a humanitarian crisis here. We need to help these people. And she's like, all of this happened because of me. And I was like, I don't think I can play this game. But she didn't have anything to do with that one. And I think it really showed. Oh, yes. So we've got this year, we've got Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which is a remake of Tomb Raider 1996. And then in 2027, we've got Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is an upcoming action-adventure game. It's the 14th main entry in the Tomb Raider series. So yeah, I probably will play that. We shall see.
I think I'm really excited for the remake, purely because like I love the original games and like I had them on old consoles and stuff. I just find the controls ridiculously hard to work on newer consoles. And like you can toggle between like the tank controls and like modern controls, but both of them are really difficult to use.
I did hear that the controls on the remasters that they did were terrible.
Like gorgeous games now. Like it's really cool how you can toggle between the new and old graphics. But even though you get choice of like which controls you want to use, both of them are fucking difficult.
Yeah.
And like I'd play it for a bit and I'd get fed up because I'm jumping in the wrong fucking direction every 5 minutes.
Well, speaking about Resident Evil, my first Resident Evil game I played was Resident Evil 2, which was the remake of the second game, which came out in 2019, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really enjoyed it. And I thought I should start the series from the beginning. And there is a remake of the first one, but it was a remake that came out on like older consoles. So it's fixed camera angle. And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. So it'll be interesting to see which direction they go down with the Tomb Raider remake, whether they'll go like Resident Evil 2 remake and like completely redo it. It'll be interesting.
I think because they've already released, I don't know if they've released gameplay footage. They might have actually.
I think they have.
The teaser. Yeah, because it was nothing. I mean, it was nothing like the original. So I think they've fully reworked it. I think it's just story-wise, they're kind of adapting it again. I'm excited. I think the original story was really great. You know what? I don't think people realize how like wild some of the Tomb Raiders like stories get. Like there's these weird like blood demon monsters in some of them, and because it's like the last level, sometimes people don't realize that they get super
they don't
crazy.
Get to it.
Yeah, like I think most people know that there's like dinosaurs and stuff now, but some of the stuff I think people will be in for a shock.
What's that one that's really emo? There's a really emo Tomb Raider.
There's Angel of Darkness.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Doesn't she have to fight like her shadow self or something?
Angel of Darkness is great. It's one of my favorite ones.
They really made her look like Angelina Jolie in this one.
They did. They 100% did, yeah.
I only ever saw my friend play this one on his PS2. Yeah, I was never, but I did enjoy the like more recent, like those like Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They came out when everyone was trying to do a gritty reboot, which I do think worked, but it basically became an Uncharted game.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
I
I did
mean,
enjoy
they
them.
copied Lara first, so why
Yeah,
not
they
her
did.
copy them
Yeah.
back?
Piss off, Nathan Drake. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this episode of Fiction Friction. Where can the people find you on the internet, Bill? I mean, they should know.
Actually, do they? Because I'm Bill Reeds on TikTok, but I am not Bill Reeds lol on Instagram anymore.
No, I know.
I
And it
changed it.
throws me
Yeah.
every time you message me now. I'm like, who is this?
I'm Bill Wood author on Instagram. Eventually, I'm going to change my TikTok handle, but I'm a bit too attached because it's been like that forever. Eventually, it will happen though.
Sorry, I'll stop yawning. I wasn't bored, I promise. I'm just tired. I am Joe.Reeds on TikTok and Joe.Reeds with 2 S's on Instagram. I'm hoping to actually post a TikTok soon. I haven't posted anything this year. And at the end of every month, I'm like, I'll do a wrap-up video. And then it just gets way too far. Like, who cares about January now? No one's going to watch a January wrap-up.
Yeah.
On the 12th of
Do
March.
a Q1 wrap up and just do it like rapid fire.
Well, we've effectively just done that. Can I be bothered to do it again? Probably not.
Short form content.
I'm very lazy. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.